The book of Revelation is known for horrifying depictions of worldwide war and mass death. But Revelation is actually a message of light, hope, and joy. Learn how next on The Key of David with Gerald Flurry.
Greetings, everyone. This world views the book of Revelation like some kind of a bloody horror action, but the Greek word for revelation is apocalypse. Just think, what does this conjure up in the mind of most people? Well, some kind of a terrifying calamity. But if you look at the word revelation or apocalypse, it means to enlighten or give light. Now that's just about the opposite of what people view it as being today. It's not what they think it is. Revelation actually reveals light to men instead of what men think. And of course, God does say that we have to be babes or humble people, teachable people, if we're ever going to understand this book or anything else in the Bible. But this world has rejected God's light, and that's causing all of the terrible problems that we see around us today. Let me just show you what it says in Revelation 1 and verse 1. The head of the King James title is The Revelation of John the Divine. But it wasn't the revelation of John the Divine. Others say, well, this was a revelation of Jesus Christ. It is not the revelation of Jesus Christ. It's the revelation of God the Father. Jesus Christ is the Son. Notice verse 1, and I'll just give you a part of this, the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God the Father, God gave unto him. So there was something that God gave unto him. Now, Bible scholars, when you think about, well, this is just the very beginning of the book, and if they are confused about issues like that, well, do you think they really are going to understand the book of Revelation? They're confused. And I think many of them are very sincere people. I'm not saying they're not sincere, but that doesn't make it true. That doesn't make that understanding true at all. And the Father reveals revelation to us. He is the Father of the family. And He brings light into this world and not doom. Notice verse 6, it says, and has made us kings and priests unto God and His Father. See, it's Christ and the Father. To Him be glory and dominion forever. Amen. So this glory is light. And when God says He has made these people kings and priests, it's as if God is already picturing them in His family, in His kingdom, helping Jesus Christ to rule this world. And when He's talking about glory, He's talking about God's glory. And that's what God is planning for this world. He's going to fill it with glory and with light. Revelation is light in this dark world. If you see the world as it is, well, we're bringing this upon ourselves. That's what God is telling us here. We're the cause of all these problems, whether it be collectively or individually. And if we've received a lot of knowledge, are we applying that knowledge? Are we putting it into practice? Are we doers of that knowledge? If you are, then you're going to be amazed at how much understanding God gives you. 2 Peter 1 verse 19, I'll just paraphrase that, but Peter said they had a more sure word of prophecy. Of course, the number one prophetic book in the Bible is the book of Revelation. But he said there is a light shining in darkness in this prophecy. A light shining in darkness. That's something that's very inspiring and uplifting. But he also says that day star will rise in your heart. In other words, if Christ lives in you, He's the day star. It just rises in your heart and gives you inspiration and all kinds of magnificent prophetic views. And we need that kind of light. We need that bright star. Notice Revelation 12 and verse 1. Revelation 12 and verse 1, it says, "And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman," which is a type of God's church. This woman is clothed with the sun. Now, only God's church could be clothed that way. But she's clothed with the sun, and moon under her feet, upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Here you have all kinds of brilliant light. Sun clothes this woman with all this power from God Himself. And He talks about the moon and the stars, all kinds of light. There's all kinds of light that God wants to give us. If you see a full moon, sometimes it's almost like daytime because it's so bright. But you know where that brightness comes from? It comes from the sun. It's a reflection of the sun. And if you take the sun away, which is actually refers directly to Jesus Christ. Matthew 4 and verse 2 talks about the Son of Righteousness, talking about Jesus Christ, S-U-N. And here God is talking about the sun and the moon and the stars, all kinds of light. But then if you take that sun away from the moon, well, it's just a dark, barren, ugly planet in many ways, because it has been virtually wrecked by Satan's rebellion a couple of times toward God in heaven and the entire universe. But we're here to reflect God's glory. We don't have any light ourselves. We're like the moon. If we're going to have light, the sun is going to have to give it to us. We're going to have to be clothed with the very Son of God, the righteousness of God. Now that's a wonderful, wonderful vision. And I hope we can all see that. Is the book of Revelation a book of doom? No, it isn't. Not even close. Revelation is the book of light. The book of life and light. And we need to deeply understand that. I'll just certainly prove it to you today, but terrible events are besieging this country and this earth, and it's all because we are not heeding that light that God has given us. The same John says over in John 1, in his gospel, he said about Christ and His coming, in Him is life, and the life was the light of men. His life is the light of men. And then he went on to say, and the light shines in darkness, and the darkness comprehends it not. They don't get it. They didn't get what Christ wanted them to get. So, look at Revelation 1 in verses 12 and 13. It says, and I turned to see the voice that spoke with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden lamps, it should read, the 7 church eras. And in the midst of the 7 lamps, one likened to the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. Here we have 7 lamps, these 7 eras, which the first one began when at Christ's first coming, just after that, His first coming. And then it continues right down to His second coming. You have 7 eras, 7 church eras. Each one gives light to this world. Each one of them. A little flock gives that light to the world. So God, you see, it says here, is in the midst of all this. He's in the midst of all this light. We have these church eras, and really it covers 2,000 years of our past history, recent history, 2,000 years, and that God had those churches there, one and then another, and 2, 3, 4, 5, all of those church eras. And notice who is the head of those eras. Each church has Jesus Christ as the head, unless they turn away from Christ, and then He raises up another era, usually, that's the way it works. At least 5 times out of 7. But notice it says in verse 14, his eyes were as a flame of fire. We're talking about real light. Verse 16, and he had in his right hand 7 stars. And out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword, and his countenance was as the sun shines in its strength. Is that light? His countenance shines as the sun in its full strength. It's really a type of Jesus Christ and all that shining. But look, you have to realize that Revelation or Apocalypse in Greek, that's the Greek name for revelation. It is to enlighten or to give light. And the Bible scholars don't know this and understand this, and they don't understand the book of Revelation. God says He'll only reveal it to those babes that really are humble and listen and do something with this truth. If you use this truth, you are going to be clothed with the sun. Clothed with it. Now that's something that ought to inspire every one of us. That's light to its ultimate degree in this world. And it says he has a little flock in Luke 12 and verse 32. Just a little flock, but they give this great light to the world. And they're clothed with it. And we ought to all have that. But man has generally rejected that throughout his history. And God is about to change all that and give every man who's ever lived an opportunity to have this light, the very tree of life. Notice Revelation 2 and verse 1, we start with the first era of the church. Unto the angel of the church of Ephesus write, these things says he that holds the 7 stars in his right hand. There's light there, who walks in the midst, right in the middle of the 7 golden lamps. Well, Jesus Christ is right in the middle of all this. He's right there to help us in any way He can if we will heed what He says. Are you heeding what He says? Am I heeding what He says? That's when you're clothed with light. Otherwise, you're barren and just like the moon without the sun. So notice verse 7 of Revelation 2. To him that overcomes will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. This is a paradise of light for the world, if they would just understand that. God wants to give us a paradise of light, and He's going to in spite of our rebellion. He's going to when He comes. But there's going to be a lot of suffering before if we don't heed what He says. He doesn't want to see us suffer. But that's coming upon really the whole world, because they reject that tree of life just like Adam and Eve did. Notice number 3 era. Well, it's titled Pergamos, and it's Revelation 2 and verse 17. It says, to him that overcomes will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone. White, light. See, light and life. And in that stone a new name written, which no man knows save he that receives it. You have to receive it. I'm going to give you this new name and this white stone and all of this just being covered in light. If you receive it, if you will receive it. If you will receive it and apply it and do what He says. Now that's what you have to do, but you have to, the white stone actually means in Greek, verdict of acquittal. In other words, God forgives us for our sins and our rebellion against His government and His revelation, and He gives us an acquittal. We're open to everything. We're pure and righteous, because God has forgiven us of all those sins we've had in the past. Revelation 2, verses 26 through 29. Here's number 4 era. And he that overcomes and keeps my works until the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Wow. That's really something. He's going to give those that are chosen before Christ returns power over the nations. Now that is power, real power over the whole world. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. And I will give him the morning star. There it is, the brightest star of all. He said, I'll give you the morning star. And that happens to be Jesus Christ. You can read that in Revelation 22 and verse 16. He is that morning star, the brightest star of all. And we need to look to him, that light, the greatest light in the universe, the morning star. So, you see, unless we have that bright light, well, we're in a dark world. We need that bright, shining star. If you look at this symbol, I've showed you this in the past, I believe, but it's really inspiring to me, and I think it should be to all of us. Here it says the emblem or logo of the Waldensians and many variants. So we'll show it to you here on the screen. In every version, the lamp flame pointed to the fourth star. If you look at that closely, that flame points to the fourth star. They knew they were that middle star, or the middle era of God's church that has the lamp. The lamp that gives light to the world if they want it. That's called the Thyatira era of God's true church. The Latin text in the emblem translates as, the light shines in the darkness. That's what the expression means, a fitting motto for God's work in the dark ages. Well, how about that? In those terribly dark ages, God gave them light, and most men refused to accept it. The darkness did not comprehend it, as the Bible tells us in many places. But here you have another inspiring statement in, this is the fifth era. This is the Sardis era, Revelation 3 and verse 1. And unto the angel of the church in Sardis write, these things says he that has the seven spirits of God and the seven stars, which are the seven angels over the church. But notice the expression, these things says he that has the seven spirits of God. What is that? Seven spirits of God are those seven lamps up in God's heaven, northern heaven, right before his throne, those seven lamps. And every lamp on this earth is a symbol of those seven lamps. The seven lamps here are a symbol of the seven lamps up there, and it's fire before God's throne. Fire, light before God's throne. That's the beginning of the throne of God, or the seven eras. It's all from God's throne, where there are seven fires up there before his throne, symbolizing the seven eras. And notice what it says here. We'll go on down to verse 4 and 5. It says, you have a few names, and even in Sardis, which have not defiled their garments, and they shall walk with me in white, light, bright light, for they are worthy. He that overcomes, the same shall be clothed in white raiment, that is. And I will not blot out his name of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. Just a few in Sardis. But he says, I'm going to confess your name before the Father and the angels. That's the kind of light and glory that God is giving to all of us. And we need to think about that. This is marvelous truth that God gives us. Revelation 3 and verse 7. And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, this is the sixth era, and these things says he that is holy, he that is true, and he that has the key of David, he that opens and no man shuts, and shuts and no man opens. Well, how about that? It just gives you a great open door where he'll just fill the church with light. And then the church will proclaim it to the world and hope the world accepts the light. And takes the knowledge and applies it in their lives, and then they are just clothed with the Son. I mean, that is tremendous power that God gives to His people. And He wants to give to you, to all of us. And He's going to do it anyhow. Even if He has to resurrect you to let you get to know Him. But oh, how much suffering we'll have to go through before that happens, just before Christ returns, which is right now. I mean, it's at the door, Matthew 24 says. Verse 8, let's look at that. Revelation 3 and verse 8. I know your works. Behold, I've set before you an open door, and no man can shut it. Well, how about that? God is challenging anybody. Hey, you have a 1 billion-man army. You think you can shut the door of God? Or you shut that open door He's given His people? You can't do it. He says, no man, even if he rules the whole earth, he can't shut it. Now, do you believe that God will do that? He will, and He does, and He proves it all the time to His people who have that lamp. And you have to prove to yourself where that is, and we'll give you all kinds of material to prove that to you. But no man can shut it, for you have a little strength, it's a little flock, and have kept my word, and have not denied my name or my authority and my government. See, here's the God of light saying, nobody's going to stop it. This is what I'm going to do, and no man will stop it. That's an amazing prophecy. God has that kind of power. Verse 12 says that He'll give this era, that vision of the New Jerusalem, God the Father coming down out of heaven with a New Jerusalem that's going to be half the size of the United States of America. How about that for bringing light to this world? Then it goes on to say in verse 17 and 18, they're going to have white raiment, be clothed. Clothed with what? With the sun. Doesn't say that here, but it says in Revelation 12 and verse 1. Here it just says you'll be clothed. But that's what you're clothed with. That's just before the second coming of Jesus Christ. And He says He'll come if you'll just respond and not rebel against Him. But 95% of God's people have rebelled against Him today. Mr. Armstrong once said, in this end time church, the last two, he says, this is not just a church, it's the beginning of a new world. It's not just a church, it's the beginning of a new world. You can see it already. God says He has something you can see that is the beginning of the whole world. And it's good news. Every bit of it is good news, and it's light, and it's life for all mankind. Anybody who wants it, it's all right there for them. The world is going to be full of light. You can see in Revelation 22 and verse 20, well, in that chapter he talks about verse 7, I come quickly. Well, he says it 3 times in this chapter. I will come quickly. I'm going to come quickly. I'm coming quickly to this earth. Now, see, that's at the door, God says. So He's coming quickly. We need to be ready. Until next week, this is Gerald Flurry. Goodbye, friends.
Request the Royal Book of Revelation, the true history of God's true church, and the incredible human potential. Order now. The preceding program was a paid presentation of The Key of David, brought to you by the Philadelphia Church of God.